Hello, everyone. Happy New Year's. Thanks for tuning in to Leader by Faith. Joanna here. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Today, it's very short. I don't have that much time, but I needed to make sure that I shared this information with you guys. Again, just always remember, I'm not here judging. I'm here just to let you guys know what I have an understanding on through what I read and study in my Bible. I'm not perfect. I mess up every single day. Man, my hair is really always messed up when I make my videos, right? Don't worry, it's okay. But I just try to encourage people because sometimes, it's not sometimes, everybody interprets things differently. And my interpretation does not mean that it's right and yours is wrong or vice versa. It's just mean that my brain train of thoughts pick up things a different way. And when we share these things that we pick up and interpret differently is how we actually learn from one another. So before I go into details onto my short video, 3 things that I want you guys to remember is 1, you're better than the devil. The devil had a chance to be right next to God. And he actually, from my understanding, he was God's right-hand man. And he wanted to be the one praised and worshiped. And he wanted to be God and thought that he could be better than God. To where, he betrayed God and he got rebuked out of heaven and cast out of heaven. So we are better than the devil because we actually are led by faith, which is believing in the unseen. He had it pure in his heart, like bam, right there. I mean, in his face, right? And he still betrayed God. You're unconditionally loved. You're unconditionally loved because God said, you are the best. I made you in my image. You can't be anybody but yourself. So therefore, I'm going to love you and everyone else unconditionally. And you're protected by grace. God loved you so much and he loved you unconditionally to the point where he gave up his only begotten son in Mary, which was a virgin, and said he's going to die. And he was not a sinful person. He never sinned. That is the only person that walked on earth and did not sin. He didn't sin. He wasn't a sinner, but yet he came to save all of us, which is grace. Grace protects all of us from our sins, and we were all born sinners. Now, today I want to talk about good criticism, which is, I forgot the other word. Good criticism, something with a C. My mind is blank right now. Let me use this other phone and ask Siri real fast. But I want you guys to understand, right? Constructive criticism. There you go. I didn't even have to do it. It clicked to my mind. Constructive criticism is a way for us to not judge one another, but for us to empower one another. Empowering each other is allowing each other to learn from one another. I can sit here and say that I am so perfect because I can't see from the outside in. I can only know that my heart is pure, therefore it makes me perfect in my eyes because I didn't mean no bad, right? However, looking from the outside in allows someone to give you great feedback so you can actually be more empowered. People hear the word criticism and then they get this defensive mode and they get into this, who you talking to and why are you judging me? It's the same thing as when we hear the word take advantage. And I've spoken about this in a previous video, right? Taking advantage is not always a bad thing. Taking advantage, for instance, low income, it's a great program in its own way. However, if you don't take advantage of it in a concept that it's going to empower you and your family, you take advantage of it in a negative way. The empowering way is, do you have an opportunity of either working part-time, full-time, or going to school full-time? Going to school full-time is very much a job. Why not go to school full-time, work part-time, maneuver your bills to the limit, right? Which means that you're sacrificing, yes, right? But at least you gain an education and don't have to be stressed out on paying an arm and a leg. You'll have income coming in to supply your basic needs and your basic, wants and stuff like that for you and your family. At the same time, you keep a roof over your head. Taking advantage of it in a negative way is disobeying the rules that they give you to keep their house that they have to rent once you leave out of it in good or bad terms, right, to someone else. But being comfortable to where you don't want to work, you don't want to do community service, you don't keep their house clean, you don't pay your bills, you don't communicate, you don't go to their workshops, you don't go to their mandatory meetings, you don't show any type of appreciation and help in the community. You don't go to school. You do absolutely nothing besides stay home, and leech off of the program of low income. Now, that is just a one scenario example of taking advantage of good thing in a good way or in a bad way. Now, good criticism is the same thing. It is made for you to be empowered, not for you to feel offended, not for you to feel that you need to get your wall up, and feel that someone is attacking you. Sometimes people are telling you good criticism, constructive criticism, because they care. Sometimes constructive criticism are coming from people that never show that they care, so then you take it the wrong way. However, God gave the power and the knowledge to that person to have a voice to speak to you, because God felt as though, because see, this is the thing. God's in control of every single little thing in life, everything. And when I mean everything, it's like the song that we grew up on. He has the whole world in his hands. And it's so true. It's just like, there's nothing that's happening in this world right now, in this instant moment, somewhere in this globe. Good things and bad things are happening. He's in control of it, you guys. And the minute that you stand firm on that, you understand that when someone is speaking to you in a negative way, God has a way of making that and more powerful than that negative feeling that is given, it is occurring inside of you. Now, God gives someone the power to speak great criticism, constructive criticism to you. Just know that he has something balled up inside of you that he needs you to understand and get, for you to reach your potential and for you to get where he needs you to get at. But it's the way that we interpret things. Someone can say, I had an okay day. To you, you can interpret that as, okay, so maybe they got a flat tire, maybe they got a phone call about their kid, maybe they broke up with their significant other. What's an okay day? An okay day might just be, like nothing wrong happened, everything went smoothly to them. And to another person, right? I had an awesome day. That person, awesome day could have been, where they did receive a flat tire, but then someone was right there to help them, and that flat tire did not stop their day, did not make them late. Someone also awesome day could be, someone hacked my bank account, but they caught them really fast, or someone hit me, but hey, look, I needed this break, on this car accident, and I got my break, and I still get paid because I was at no fault. It's just like, what is an awesome day? What is a great day? It's all the way that we interpret things. So I wanted to touch base on what basically great criticism, good constructive criticism means. Now, criticism can be found as a judgmental word. However, are you judging with a pure heart? Are you giving great criticism, constructive criticism to empower someone else to reach their full potential, or just to criticize them, to judge them, to down them? Now, I have a few verses, and yes, I will put them inside of the description, right? Now, from Romans 15, well, first, let's read, right, from the Old Testament first, right? The Old Testament in Proverbs 3, verse 7, it says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. You cannot have wisdom without fully understanding. Now, in Proverbs 15, verse 31 to 33, it says, the ear that hears the rebukes of life will abide among the wise. Now, I want to read you guys the real definition of rebuke. It says, express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone, in parentheses, because of their behavior or actions. It goes on verse 32. He who disdains, right? I believe that's how you say the word. Disdain, right, means the feeling that someone or something is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. He who disdains instructions despises his own soul. But he who heeds, right? I believe that's how you say the word, which is pay attention to, take notice of, rebuke gets understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Now, I want to break this down. The ear that hears the rebukes of life will abide among the wise. Rebuke is expression a sharp disapproval, right, of some or a criticism of someone's action or behavior. Now, the ear that hears the rebukes of life will abide among the wise, right? To me, that means that if you listen to what someone is telling you, which is, disapproving or criticizing what you're saying, that means that you're about to gain knowledge. Because wise means that you have wisdom, which wisdom means that you have knowledge, and knowledge means that you have a clear understanding. Or maybe it's like the other ways around, right? But however, you cannot have a clear understanding without having knowledge, and you cannot have knowledge without having wisdom, and you can't have the other without having the others, right? Now let's go to the second verse and break this down in my understanding. He who let me make sure I'm saying this word right. Disdains, right? Disdains, instructions despises his own soul, but he who heeds rebukes gets understanding. Now, disdain means the feeling that someone or something is unworthy or someone's consideration or of unworthy of one's consideration or respect. He who disdains, that means that you don't agree that that person, they shouldn't have your full respect, your full attention to what they're trying to give you, which is their disapproval or their good criticism, constructive criticism, which is the rebukeness, right? But he who heeds, right, which means pay attention to, take notice of, but he who pays attention to the rebuke gets understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. You fear no one and nothing. Therefore, you don't fear someone that is judging you, because at the end of the day, you trust God enough to understand and know and walk with. He's the one who's sending this person in front of me to say this because he needs me to grow within this, right? Now, I got two more verses, right? It says, take heed. Again, here goes this word heed. Heed, remember, means pay attention, right? Pay attention to yourselves. If your brother sins against you, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. And if he sins against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day returns to you saying, I repent, you shall forgive him. That means that it doesn't matter what you do. If you criticize me in a bad way and later on find out that you did that with the unpure heart and you ask me for forgiveness, I must let it go and forgive you. And vice versa. Now, the last one I have is Romans 15:11. It says, now I myself am confident concerning you, my brother, that you also are full of goodness, filled with all knowledge, able also to admonish one another. Let me make sure I'm saying this word right. Give me 1 second. Admonish. Admonish, which means warn or reprime someone firmly. I think I said that word right. You guys know my English is all over, right? But this verse means that if you're doing it because you have goodness, filled with all knowledge and able to basically warn someone and say, hey, that you shouldn't, do this way, like it's going to get you there. That is giving someone constructive criticism. So I want you guys to understand, right, that in life we are to help one another. We are to help one another by making sure that we give each other great criticism. We cannot live in this world and keep on thinking that, we are okay with, hey, that's not my problem. It is your problem, because that is your sister and your brother by God. And even if they don't walk with God because they don't understand that they're unconditionally loved and understand the power of grace, then you still give them that love, and when you give them that love, is giving them that great criticism. That C other word, right? But giving them that criticism is what's allowing them to grow. So make sure that you understand that you must grow with one another by helping one another. Remember, you're better than the devil. Remember that you unconditionally love, and remember you're protected by grace. You're untouchable because you're protected by grace. I'm not saying go on out there and purposely commit suicide or purposely murder someone's, child, because that is your brother or your sister. But love one another and help each other grow by empowering each other and using your words, because your words, your mouth speaks life and death. So speak life into others. Take care and Happy New Year's. Subscribe, please.